something that I couldn't learn on the outside.
So you didn't have a like big desire to fight?
No,
No.
no. No, I thought of it as an opportunity for an education. I was, plus I never really shot a gun. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't very good at it.
Okay. So how long did you end up serving?
4 years.
Uh, did you make a lot of like friends while you were
Oh yeah.
during your time there?
Yeah, you're basically you're in a dorm with, I mean, you're in a dorm pretty much. There are women there in the dorm, but not many. So it's basically like a dorm full of all guys pretty much your age.
Mhm.
So you're with a bunch of guys, so obviously,
Yeah, you're gonna make
I
friends.
mean, yeah, you have a lot of friends.
They're like women. Do you have an idea of like what the ratio of men to women was?
Uh, no, I don't.
Were there a lot?
But I'm gonna
were there
say,
a lot more men?
oh yeah, yeah.
Was there ever any like I don't know?
Like,
Do you hear about like
yeah.
sadly like sexual assault and stuff? Did that ever happen?
I never knew anybody that was involved with that, but you heard stories before.
That happened like at the base and stuff.
Well, especially like if there was an attractive woman, I should I they had it harder because there was so many guys
Dude,
that
they,
all
like,
the guys wanted
like,
to
heckle
date
her?
this woman. No, they wanted to date her and stuff. They liked her,
Yeah.
you know, but to her it was probably tough, but you know,
So you think it would be kind of hard?
for a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then I do. Yeah, because they
Okay.
still weren't really welcomed. You know, as like a woman in the military was kind of.
You think it was kind of at that time like looked down upon?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you have any like?
I mean, it
Superior.
didn't bother me or anything.
Did you have any like superiors who were women?
I did.
You did.
Matter of fact, when my TI that in basic training, I had actually two. One was a woman. One was a guy. The woman was
the woman
tougher.
replaced.
No,
the
no,
woman
no,
that
no.
replaced-
No. He was the main guy. We had an assistant that was a woman,
Uh-huh.
and she was tough because she would always come like after we did our running thing in the morning, our exercise. We would get only like I forget what it was, like 5 or 10 minutes for everybody to shower.
Yeah.
And you're talking about like 60 people with like 8 showers or whatever it is. So with her, she would come knocking on the door going, I'm coming in. And people would be still in the shower, so everybody'd be trying to get dressed as fast.
Yeah.
So it was actually almost harder having a woman.
Mm-hmm. All right. Did you get a lot of breaks during your like normal service?
Normal, once I got out of basic training,
Yeah.
we got 4 weeks off a year,
Mhm.
basically.
So
So
what did you usually do?
when
Did you take them like you just went home?
Well, the first year I took it right away after school. I took all 30 days, so I didn't get to go home for a year.
Wait, so you just like waited 30 days to go to the Air Force?
No, no. What happened is they give you 30 days. What happened with me is the timing. I was finishing. I mean, I had finished basic training, and then I was finishing tech school. So I was finishing tech school right around Christmas and New Year's.
Mhm.
So they offered us, if we wanted to, we could take the 30 days.
Okay.
I could have taken 2 weeks.
So you took
But then
the.
take another 2 weeks, like
So you
6 months.
went
whatever.
there, did basic training, went to tech school, then took your 30 days.
Yeah. So
Okay.
then I couldn't go home for a year. So I was.
Okay.
And then I split it. After that, I'd do like 2 weeks.
Mm.
But you had to be careful because one thing they did, and a lot of people were getting in trouble for this, is technically when you're in the Air Force, you have to be there every day. Or let somebody know, like you have to get permission. Like say technically on a weekend. Or say you take 5 days off.
Mhm.
So you're off from Monday to Friday. You don't really need this. I don't even know why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
I'll finish it up right there. So you're off from Monday to Friday. Technically, if you take off from Monday to Friday, you got to be back Friday. So you're there for Saturday morning. But what was happening?
Back like Friday night.
Yeah. So what's happening is people are leaving on You know, they would take Monday to Friday off, but they would leave on, say, Saturday morning and come back Sunday, which technically you're AWOL. You have
Yeah.
to add those days off to your 30, but nobody was doing it because they didn't want to waste their days off.
So people were like, were they getting punished, or are they just kind of
Well,
like
it
cheating
would
days?
never happen. You would never get caught unless something happened.
Okay.
Like one time, I know a bunch of people were gone, and they had like there was a general coming in, and we had to do we had to clean up the base for the general, and a bunch of guys were gone. It was on a Saturday, and a bunch of guys were
Weren't
on
there.
yeah. So they ended up getting. They didn't really get in trouble, but they were warned never to do that again. Basically.
Okay. Was it interesting to get to know people from like other parts of the country?
Yeah.
Was there? Like,
I mean, there was.
was it like diverse? Well, first of all, was it diverse like?
When you say
racially?
diverse?
Yeah, I'm gonna have like kind of two different ways. Was it diverse like racially, or was it majority?
I would say it was, but I'm just because I have that picture of where I graduated. So, yeah, pretty good.
Well, obviously majority.
No, look,
Well, I'm saying majority, but
Yeah.
it looks pretty.
but it was pretty diverse.
Was there for those people? Was it ever like? Was there any like racism?
Not that I know. To be
No?
honest
You
with you, I
never
didn't
witnessed
notice any racism. I mean, some of my best friends were.
Okay.
A lot of people from down south, and
Yeah, the majority. You think?
you know what state, for some reason, and I have no idea why this is, Ohio.
A lot of people from
A
Ohio.
lot of people from Ohio. I remember that. I don't have any idea why, but Midwest.
Do you think were those people a lot different? Because like you're from the Northeast. Was it like
No, not really, actually.
no? Well, Ohio's a little bit.
Yeah.
What
it's
about
kinda-
like what about compared to the South?
The South is definitely different. I mean, there was a lot of young guys there that were like 18 years old that already had like 3 kids, and I'm sure they joined because they probably had nothing else, like you were saying. at the
Financially?
beginning. Yeah, I'm sure. What, you got 3 kids?
Would they help out like the kids, the military?
Yeah.
If you
Once
were
you if you're married, you get like off. You can live off base with your family, and they give you vouchers for like food
Okay.
and housing. I don't think they give you a lot. I mean, I know people lived off base, and a lot of them lived in trailers and stuff. You know what I mean?
But they help.
Yeah, if you don't live on base, if you don't live on the base, you can get a housing voucher and a food voucher
Mhm.
because they feed you. I mean, you can eat there. So if you don't live there, you get a food voucher and a housing voucher.
Okay. What was it like to work on airplanes?
I loved it actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does. It makes you feel proud going to work.
So it was. I don't know. Do you have any like good stories?
Um,
Like anything specifically? From like the airplanes.
Probably one of my biggest ones was I had to do a major overhaul on an engine, and
That means
the
what
pilot
does that
wrote me.
mean? What does that mean?
That means you have to basically the engine was an hour. We would do hourly inspections, like if the engine had like say 5,000 hours on it.
Like miles, kind of like. On a
Yeah,
car?
it goes by hours though. That's how they do.
Yeah.
And then we would. I did the overhaul on the engine pretty much by myself, and the pilot actually wrote me a letter to put in my file that just said I did a good job. Basically, I mean he didn't have to do it; he did it on his own. That was
So it
probably
was
it.
like fulfilling work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was supposed to take me up, but he never did.
Exactly. Oh, in the
Take me
plane.
flying. Yeah.
Did you ever go flying?
No.
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 Did you want to?
Yeah, I would have definitely. I mean, I got to ride in the cockpit, which used to make you feel kind of important, because we would take the jets out to the flight line,
Mhm.
and then we'd have to calibrate we'd have a thing that is called like a jet cal analyzer. It's like a computer based, but this was a long time ago, so But what you would do is we would have to make sure that the cockpit readings on the dashboard or whatever you want, the instrumentation in the cockpit match the actual controls, like the fuel pump.
Uh-huh.
You were getting the right pressure on the instrumentation that you were getting with the fuel pump.
Mhm.
So we would do that. So sometimes it would take us like 24 hours to get it right. It was crazy, but it made you feel proud
Okay.
because we would run the jets through like everything. We'd run them through afterburner, but they'd be tied to the ground, the plane itself, and then you'd be underneath it tweaking the controls
Okay.
to match the instrumentation.
So where were you stationed for the majority of your
Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida.
lives in Florida? What was it like going from Connecticut to Florida?
It was hot. It was very humid. Although I was in northern Florida, so it was. It did get cold in the winters.
It did?
Yeah, I mean, we actually had like when we'd have to go out, like usually like January was probably the coldest month, but we actually had cold weather gear.
You did?
Yeah,
In
it would
Florida?
get that cold. But if you were on the flight line like all day, there was nothing. We were on the ocean pretty much, so it was. I mean, if you got that breeze
Yeah, yeah.
off the ocean and stuff, it was freezing.
So were you ever like? Do you feel like it gave you a chance to like explore like the country more?
I mean, I didn't do a lot of traveling. I was pretty much in. I mean, I did basic training in Texas, school in Chicago, and then I was in Florida the whole time.
Mm. Were there people who went like? Did you know people who went like outside the country?
Oh yeah.
Like where?
My roommate was. He had come from Okinawa, Japan.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever like try and?
I
you ever want to?
wanted to like in the when you're in basic training they give you this paper and you're allowed to put down like your first three choices.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to put down if you want to go overseas or not. So I put overseas, and I forget what my choices were. I think Australia was. I mean, obviously, I picked what I thought was the coolest places to go.
Yeah.
but for some reason, it never happened. I mean, I don't know if they look at that paperwork because, like, I had a good friend that he put down on the paperwork that he wanted to go to Florida because that's where he was from, and he ended up getting Okinawa, Japan.
But you put it. You
And
put
I
it
had
up and
put
out and
in-
you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they said that was on the nicest basis. So we were going to switch, because you were allowed to switch, but it was like, we missed it by like 2 hours or something. There was a time limit, and we didn't get it done before that.
All right. Before they let you, work on airplanes, were there a lot of classes you had to attend?
You have to go through school.
Which you said was like what, 13 weeks? You said.
I think it was 13 weeks. Yeah, around 13 weeks. Well,
And
put it
to
this
the
way.
Chicago school.
August, I can tell you almost. In August, I went to basic training, so 6 weeks. So August, September. So September to October. It was like 3 months.
Okay.
12
And
weeks.
after that, they just had like, did you just start working, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you?
But
get-
you do, I mean, you, like when you get there, I had a supervisor that had a lot of experience.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, it wasn't like we were just thrown in. I mean, you had crew chiefs and stuff. You know
Yeah.
what
So
I
they
mean?
like developed you.
Yeah, you had a lot of people that could train you, and I mean, I had a great supervisor. He was, I mean, he knew his stuff,
Mhm.
and I learned a lot from him.
Did you get paid?
Yeah.
Do you remember like how much
I
you got paid?
remember.
No.
It's not a huge amount of money because,
But
again,
you're living for.
because yeah, you're living
free.
for free. You get all the food you want,
Yeah.
and you can get food. I mean, pretty much anytime you want. I mean, the cafeteria, you get breakfast, lunch, dinner. Then they were open for like snacks at like 7.
Mhm.
And then you could actually, because it was open for breakfast at midnight for the people that work second shifts.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, you can actually,
You could go.
yeah, but you'd have to wear your uniform. So a lot of
Yeah.
guys would get dressed up at midnight and go eat.
All right. Were there any rules you had to follow that like you really didn't like?
um,